डिफरेंट शेड्यूल बट सारी चीज़ें इतनी कि इनफैक्ट मैं अपने आप को इंट्रोड्यूस कर सो आई एम योर होस्ट फॉर टुडे माय नेम इज़ ऑथर हर्ष टावरी एंड बहुत फॉर्मल इवेंट हो चुका है सो लेट्स गिव दिस एन इनफॉर्मल टर्न Mihir, I request you to please come on stage. We'll have an informal moderation session now. Let me just quickly put this mic on you. Young India, please.
University is very well known.
Keep the book decoupled.
Leader university, and that university was
taken to come here. Anyways, so yeah.
Yeah. So I was reading the book a few days ago, but I am almost halfway through the book. So the USP of this book is, although it is an encyclopedia, something which is providing information, but this is written in a way which includes a lot of storytelling, है ना? So even if as a first time information reader, if you try to get your hands on this book, you will not feel bored or nothing mundane written in it. It has a storytelling. So it starts with the ancient India, how diplomacy started with Chanakya, and then it got carried forward by Raja Ashoka, then Jawaharlal Nehru, and how was his vision towards diplomacy.
Yes.
So Mihir, just I was curious, what was the trigger that why did you decide, why did you choose this genre to specifically write? Because do you have a family background which has influenced your choice of selecting the genre for this book?
So yeah, a family background, I would say, for specifically international relations, no. I was having agriculture and teaching background. Specifically, my father is teacher. My mom used to be teacher in Air Force Vocational Institute. So I have a vocational teacher's background. For this international relations, I was not having any family background. But what inspired me to write this book was from 6th only. So the first thought came in my mind to write this book. It came in 6th standard when I decided not at 6th standard, but from the period from 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. What I was realizing that whatsoever is happening in this world was something which has to be stopped. I understand there are some crucial events in this world will happen which are essential. But I saw something which was not supposed to be happening. For example, unfortunately, we have in 2022 or 21, we have Russia-Ukraine war. We are now triggered with Israel-Hamas. Then now it has converted to Israel-Iran war. We also have various international armed conflicts which are being going in around the world, which without no media coverage. Where whatsoever comes on a global stage, that covers the media. But we have still Syrian people still struggling to have food. We have still some Syrian people who want refugees. There are they need humanitarian aids. So that is something we have all over the world. So whenever I wake up, I was thinking that something is essentially happening in this world, and that is something which needs to be addressed. We are seeing that many of these world leaders, specifically which we call a superpower, which we call United States of America. We have a new president of America, like Donald Trump, which just recently joined the office. To be honest, I will be very honest in this. When he was I have seen his election campaigns. He promised everyone on this election duties. He promised he will end the Russia-Ukraine war in just 20 to 48 hours. He promised to end Russia-Ukraine. He promised to end Israel-Hamas. Both wars in just 48 hours, and now there are 3. That's a matter of concern. I cannot blame him because he's not a god. He will not go there and then make a majestic and he will fix everything. It's not possible. But I think that something jointly could be happening in this world. It's not a one-person duty. The intention of the president was absolutely true. The war needs to be stopped. And even Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi also told that ये युद्ध का समय नहीं है. And it's true, obviously. People are struggling for the food. We are having humanitarian concerns in this war, and we are fighting rigorously on these wars, battlefields, for no reason. That's totally disappointing, which I felt. And from that purpose, I decided to write this book. Because I felt that something needs to be addressed to public. Again, I understand nothing on social media can be trusted. But some sources can really be trusted, which are already on the last page, sources used. I truly like that if everyone read this book, and I have really written a final message, that I understand that every country has these policies, every country has its own foreign policy and intentions. But I understand that some countries may be aggressive or maybe polite, like India, maybe aggressive. But that aggression cannot be turned into war. That is only my concern. But if someone countries like want to have intention, we can talk. Diplomacy is a heartbeat. We can talk with the people. You can ask people to come on the table. We'll talk about it. What's going on? But the thing is, we are now having a very aggressive stage that anything comes in the world or anything happens in the world is taken so aggressively that it is really concluding in this war. So that is what I am saying. Initially on basis, Russia-Ukraine never started on the war basis. It was a special military operation launched by the Vladimir Putin. They never stated it was a war. But initially it was considered a war because due to their own personal intentions, we cannot blame them. But what I feel is every country has its intentions. But let's go beyond borders. Let's understand what's intention of this whole country have. Let's not take boundaries as a real boundaries. Let's have a talk. Let's have a diplomacy to end all conflicts, and let's not make this world a battlefield. That's my only thing I told.
क्या बात है? No, I am sure when somebody is claiming something of that scale, then it is a matter of concern. But okay, I think we derailed from the topic because this session is about Mihir and his book. So coming back on track, the content of this book is completely versatile, and since we are talking about it, I would like to acknowledge the efforts of Mr. Utsav Banerjee and all the other people who were involved in guiding you through the book, the resources that you have used. So there is this one question that I ask every author that I talk to during the creation of this book. I mean the writing of the manuscript. I am sure there must have been a phase where you got completely confused what to write next. We call it the writer's block. So I want to know, how did you tackle the writer's block? What was your way of dealing with it?
Writer's block, which we call in author's language. So basically it's a confusion. When you stop after writing so many pages, you get confused what to write next, or you are not coming to the conclusion. Either you have less sources, or you don't have any statements to conclude. In that sense, so I tackled author's block. I have two ways to tackle it. First, either I conclude with my own statement. If there is no statement from anyone, or there is no conclusion coming to the point, I'll conclude with my own point. That's what I suggested. But in some, I would say, conflicts or some issues, giving own statements would not make sense. So I said, let's wait. Whenever I used to write, I guess when I started, it always lasted 2 to 3 hours, approx. After that, when I was like, I'm very confused, I cannot write anymore, I just shut it down everything. What I'm writing, I will just shut it down and just go away and behave like I did nothing. It's totally on off. I will do off. I will not do anything now. I will just close it. Either I can go for music field. As you know, everyone, I'm a pianist as well. I either use keyboard to relax myself, or either I read different books to refer some more ideas. What can be done. So these were the two ways how I tackled the author's block. I hope this answers the question.
Yeah, that definitely does. So on and off method, है ना?
Yes.
And this is astonishing that every time I ask this question to somebody, I get a different answer. Everybody has their own way of dealing with this. So Mihir, Samar is here with us. I want to know, how was your experience with publishing as a first-time author, as a debut author?
So first when I write it, as everyone knows, I am a first-time author. I never wrote a book before this. I am a first-time author. So for me, how to write book, the question came from how to write the book. And if to write the book, what to write exactly. I have all my thoughts, but how to write, that was the first question came in my mind. Then I looked some interviews and I say, this is how I can do it. I started writing the book on initial basis. Then something I did when I started with a pen paper mode. So I was only on 20 to 40 pages or 42 pages when it was a Trump Elon. If you read the book, it was 42. It was a Trump Elon controversy. I have written over it. On that page, I have written on pen paper mode. Then I consulted from Bureau's publisher, Mr. Samar. Then he told me that you have to write a Google Doc. Okay. It was obvious because you have to write on a Google Doc, but it was as I was writing on the notes. So I was making what to write. It's not on the official document, but I will just make the notes what I have to exactly write. This is genre what I have to include. Then I contacted Mr. Samar. He's from the starting, from this creation of manuscript to the publishing and book launch. He's from starting itself. According to my experience from Bureau, it was absolutely great. The team, the managers, the consultants are absolutely great, and the help is to write the books. Whenever I get it out, they're ready to answer each and every doubt what comes into my mind. So I thank Mr. Sama for this. And as well, when to be honest, one thing came in my mind when I was writing the book. It was officially to be launched on 6th of June. Manuscript was almost ready. In that point, unfortunately, a tragedy came in India. That is, we call it Pahalgam attack. That was truly unfortunate. But I really felt that this has to be added. If this is not being added, the book does not make sense for me. So again, the manuscript extended. I added more theories, more statements from either from the government or the international media. I started analyzing it, what has to be done. So eventually, the manuscript extended and extended, and finally, at the stage when I was truly satisfied with the manuscript and the editing given by the Blue Rose team, I truly was satisfied, and that after that, I finally approved the file for publishing. So yeah, it's a truly great experience. They gave it a very great team, and you can see the trailer that was made by the team itself. So I really thank and congratulate team for this wonderful trailer. And one thing to audience, the whole management of all this thing is done by the Blue Rose team. And I would request a huge round of applause for the Blue Rose team and authors nest, because if you are handling an event from author's perspective, when you see an event, it has to be you see the sitting arrangement, the hall, and the sitting lights and mic system. Then all this everything logistic we take care of. I was really fortunate to have a Blue Rose team, Mr. Samar, who managed each and everything, totally each and everything. I am truly appreciate effort of Sri Nitin Gadkari, Honorable Minister of Road Transport and Highways, to provide this hall, and Mr. Samar and Blue Rose team and Authors Nest team for keeping everything organized for me, and I am truly satisfied with the work they did for me. Thank you, sir.
So I also read the book, and I completely acknowledge that almost all the recent incidents that have happened in the past few months, in fact in the last month, everything has been included in the book. So that is something very commendable. Now, for those of you who do not know this by any chance, Mihir has also been an important part of the MUN circuit. He has been contributing to the Model United Nations both as a delegate as well as a chair. And on that note, I also want to give a shout out to the Zenith Order. I'm not sure if the people are still sitting here. So Mihir, I want to ask you, how is the diplomatic portfolios that you get in the Model United Nations different from the real world? Now I know that you have not been a diplomat in the real world, but since you have researched a lot about it, I am sure that you can specifically point out the difference.
Model United Nations is something which gives you confidence to speak on a global stage. That's the first point. Second point, when you do a Model United Nations, when you get a portfolio or assignment, you are supposed to be the head representing that country. Just for example, if you are sitting in a United Nations General Assembly, not as a real person, but as a Model United diplomat, a delegate, you are assigned a country. And for example, if I am assigned India, okay, in that sense, the whole responsibility on that particular agenda of India's comes to me, because I am the only person of contact from India. So whatever I give, whatever statements I give in this Model United Nations has maybe in the model, maybe not realistic, but it has an impact. The policy, maybe it's always a model. It can never change the reality because it is not authenticated by the United Nations. But the sources we use, the statements we consider are authentic. And what the research we do is help in a person to understand what global issues are contributing to this world. Maybe it is negative or positive. So in Model United Nations, I saw that this is a first stage for anyone who's want to have a career in diplomacy. Absolutely, so there's no doubt in this. But if you ask me why I started from Model United Nations to write this book, everyone knows it very clearly that if you have a dream to become a pilot, a commercial pilot, you are supposed to do a first chair flying on chair, not anywhere. You're sitting on chair, and you're supposed to do a chair flying experience. That is first is a flying. Then you get to simulators, and maybe it's have a real controls, but again it's on the ground. For me, Model United Nations is a simulator that helps me practice how to really represent a country in real United Nations. So if you ask me why I switched to this, I'm not switching, I'm not leaving it. With collaboration of Model United Nations, I have started writing this book. The real purpose is that a pilot is never supposed to be on a simulator. The real job of pilot is to fly the aircraft, not the simulator. So So for me, simulator is just a first step to the United Nations, to join United Nations group. So every person who wants to be a United Nation has to grow from modern United Nations, MUNs. There's the first stage where we understand how diplomacy works. Everyone in this world talks about diplomacy, international relations. If you get a social media, a lot of people gives various comments about these things, but nobody understands how it actually works. What is the forum? How we can introduce an agenda? How the solutions they give on social media, are they realistic, or are they really worth it to be applied? What are the consequences? When anyone thinks about international relations, they think about, okay, a friend and I got a friend, I will not take the name. Obviously, he's not having any international relations background, but obviously, I was expecting the same from any random public or any person in this world. कोई इंटरनेशनल relations said कि भाई दोस्त का दोस्त दोस्त होता है, और दोस्त का दुश्मन दुश्मन होता है, और दुश्मन ये चीज़ें कई हद तक सही लगती होगी, बट ये चीज़ प्रैक्टिकली यूनाइटेड नेशंस में पॉसिबल, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन में पॉसिबल नहीं होती. जस्ट फॉर एग्जाम्पल, टू प्रूव दैट इज नॉट हैपन, लेट्स से एग्जाम्पल, इंडिया एंड रशिया are having close ally, very close allies. So that is it mean that China is a close ally with us? Tell me, audience, बताओ.
Audience? No.
मतलब इंडिया इज फ्रेंड विद ally with Russia, बट रशिया इज ally with China. तो इसका मतलब अगर हमने वो फैक्ट्स पकड़ लिए और सोशल मीडिया फैक्ट्स आते हैं वो पकड़ लिए और बोले कि नहीं, फ्रेंड दोस्त का दोस्त भी दोस्ती होता है, इट्स नॉट हाउ इट वर्क्स, क्योंकि रशिया का फ्रेंड तो चाइना भी है कि नहीं. तो ऐसे कंडीशन वी कैन नॉट टेक दीज स्टेटमेंट्स एज वैलिड टू जज इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन. इंटरनेशनल में हज़ार तत्वों को समझना पड़ा, सामने वाले की ताकत, हमारी ताकत, उसके सपोर्ट करने वाली ताकत. क्योंकि अगर हम दोनों की, इफ समवन will not expect it, but touch wood, if something happens in any this country, I would not ask you to do, but if something happens, हमारे साथ सपोर्ट के लिए कौन खुल के आ रहा है, उनके साथ कौन खुल के आ रहा है, ये भी देखना जरूरी है. Before you start any war, I would not suppose it cannot happen, but it's we cannot give the true impression of this world. But in that case, Hazard, the only my statement is we cannot take these statements as a valid join us to judge international relations. That is only my statement I give even in the book as well.
That was very insightful. Now, I think let's give this moderation session a beautiful end. And coming to an end, I would like to ask if there's something that we have missed and that you want to talk about. Anything that you want to add about the book, about the journey, about yourself, about anything.
I would recommend everyone to read this book. It was a very hard work of 6 to 7 or 9 months actually, 9 to 10, 12 months. एक साल लग गया. But it was started from 9th end and it ended in 10th end, 11th starting. It took me 12 months to write this book, specifically 6 months to only manuscript and publishing, copyrights, because everything
Can you please bring
it's
recovered
like for even publishers, they have done 90% of my job, but at the end manuscript comes from the authors itself. So I truly appreciate the efforts taken by the publishers and even the organizing team, the Authors Nest. I truly appreciate this thing. But for a person who would like to write the book like me, I would suggest you go with any publisher. But first, if it is a very good quote by I guess Albert Einstein. If you can explain any topic of 5-year-old, you can understand very well. मतलब आप किसी भी आदमी को वो पास आप समझा सकते हो, मतलब आपको वो टॉपिक समझ चुका है. मतलब you have to simplify the topic in your mind in such a way that the boy, 5-year boy understands it very well. तो मैं बुक लिखने से पहले, तो ताकि जो ऑथर्स आपको ना पढ़े, मैं बोलूँगा कि पहले पूरा आइडिया बुक का अपने दिमाग में बना लो, ताकि आपको आँख बंद करके so it will be very quick to what I have written. And if I have written the book, I can tell what concept पे क्या है. So it's not like you using AI something. मैंने समर सर से बात भी की in that case. सर everyone is writing book. मैंने कोई जनरल क्वेश्चन किया, सर AI से भी ChatGPT तो बहुत आजकल आ गए तो वो से भी लिखते हैं. No, I never used any ChatGPT. That is why it took 12 months. अगर ChatGPT किसी को बुक लिखना होता तो भाई 2 महीने में तो you can just finish it up. But anyway, publishers are the publishing manager and the publisher editing is are very honest and very too smart to understand the ChatGPT's language. And that is why they take an interview. They had a conversation with you and they understand in what language I will talk and what language I will write the book. So in that case, I would not recommend you ChatGPT and AI tools for this thing because ये आपका है. फिर आप अगर आपको AI लिखना है तो फिर ऑथर के नाम पे आपका नाम क्यों रख रहे हो? AI क्यों रख दो ऑथर? वही बता रहा है ना फिर. So ऐसे केस में I would not recommend. So yeah, that's a big journey. I would thank
I can see this upcoming diplomat is very fiery, very fiery. Thank you so much, Mihir. It was very insightful speaking to you. Yes.
Before giving introduction to my lesson, I forgot one achievement that my lesson. One more figure in the crown of success.
Abhishek.
He searched for university in Netherlands. The university is very well known.
Keep the book. Pick up it.
Leader university, and that university course international humanitarian law. And the module will take to the online process. And the module used to come every Monday or the night. Program was that diploma should be completed within 3 weeks. This chap, this person who is sitting in front of you, he is first diplomat than my son. He completed that diploma within 1 week. Success is not completed. 76,000 students in the age of 60 years old lady also applied for the course throughout the world. From 76,000 candidates, only 200 candidates completed the diploma course. In that 200, Mihir Bhagwat was 24. Next, in the list generated by the university,
Aditya.
first was the lady of 60 years old from Russia or UK. He stood 6th in the rank of international merit list. Last crown of the story. He is the only Indian to crack a diploma in the. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mihir.
Yes, definitely.
Now, coming to the conclusion of this event. Yeah, you can sit, have a seat. Or the stage is yours, the event is yours. Now to give the Thanksgiving note, I request Mr. Utsav Banerjee, please come on stage. Whatever you want. You want this?
Hello. I'm very emotional for this day because it seems like yesterday that Mihir was playing synthesizer on the stage, and suddenly he's on this stage and welcoming a fantastic book. And I always say that it is the teachers that make, it is the students that makes their teachers proud, and I'm immensely proud. And my heart is beating with so much proud for Mihir, and I hope that more and more people like Mihir comes and make this world a better place. So before I conclude, I also want